Felix Lopez is a practicing Muslim living in Okaloosa County, Florida. For more than a year, Felix has complained that he is being racially profiled by the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office. Felix says that his son Lorenzo Scott has also been targeted by the police. He said that every time he gets into his car, he has to worry about being stopped. Felix told policeabuse.com that he and his son have been stopped nearly 24 times in 12 months. Many of the stops resulted in a ticket. However, in some cases, the police were forced to drop the charges or they were dismissed. Other stops were unexplained or simply resulted in insults directed at Felix or his son. Policeabuse.com is investigating Felix's allegations. We have contacted the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office. We have completed our investigation, and there is evidence supporting Felix Lopez's claims and those of his son regarding racial profiling by the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office.
Without my consent or my permission, as he was leaving, I told him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm just taking these pictures to show it to my buddies," being sarcastic, being funny. So now I feel like I'm being marked and flagged so that any police officer can harass me at any time.
We wanted to know why Felix Lopez was being stopped so frequently. PoliceBoost.com requested records from Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office concerning all traffic stops involving their officers and Felix Lopez. We also requested dispatch and radio calls from anyone who may have complained about Felix distributing literature in their neighborhood. The information we obtained explains in part why Felix Lopez is being stopped. A BOLO, Be on the Lookout, intelligence report regarding Felix Lopez has been issued to all Okaloosa County deputies on patrol. The BOLO was issued by Okaloosa County intelligence detectives allegedly because Felix drives an unusual car. Felix Lopez refurbishes and drives retired police cars. A police captain from Okaloosa County told us that the cars get their attention, and they often find other things that are violations of the vehicle code. In one example, Felix Lopez was stopped by Okaloosa County deputies and ordered out of a neighborhood. When we asked the sheriff's office why they contacted Felix Lopez, they said that someone had actually complained about him distributing literature. But when we reviewed the records that the police department gave us, there were no records indicating that anyone had reported a complaint.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I was told initially why he was being stopped was that he's driving a simulated police car. The problem is, at least from my perspective, is that I can't find a Florida statute that says you can't drive that type of car.
Okay, let's stop right there. You misunderstood or misinterpreted what we said to begin with. He comes to our attention because he is driving a police car. It's not simulated. It is an actual police car. And that's when he comes to our attention. All right? And what happens beyond that is his traffic stops are based on violations of the law.
The reason I didn't understand that is because when I actually looked into it, I'll give you one example. I was told that he was ordered out of a neighborhood because the neighbors had reported him and complained about him handing out literature. But when I filed a records request and I got the records request back, there was no such call made by any neighbors in the community. So
right. Okay then. Then what? I don't understand what the complaint was.
Well, the complaint is that he was being pulled over for no reason. I was told from your office that the reason he got stopped is that someone had put in a call saying that they didn't want him in the neighborhood, and that simply wasn't true.
Well, that is true.
It's true that someone called in on him.
Yes, it is true. I provided you that information.
I actually got records back, and I didn't see anything in an audio, a video, or a document that said someone had called in. Did you? Maybe I'm mistaken. I can go back and look at the record.
Would you please?
Yes.
Because it was based early on our conversation.
Well, I'm sure that you are not trying to steer me wrong, except that I didn't see anything. What record is there of someone calling in? Is there a person's name associated with it?
Oh, I'd have to do some research again on that.
However, the second issue that I ran into is in the investigation of a complaint against a detective who had stopped him and told, when Mr. Lopez asked, "Why are you photographing my car?" he was told in response, "So I can give it to my friends." that on its face is kind of an unprofessional conduct comment, but in the report of the investigation, it was defined as something that's part of an investigative strategy. I'm not clear on what that is. Why would someone say something like that to him, if you can tell me?
Okay, so I'll just throw a warning for that, okay? So just if you take care of that, that's at 5 o'clock, okay? So we have a traffic stop. That's a nice car. I want to show my friends. Okay?
I can't answer that because I don't know what the conversation was about.
Okay.
You've been in law enforcement long enough to know that people misinterpret statements.
Yeah. Well,
and don't accurately recall statements. You know as well as I do that eyewitness information is the least reliable information of all.
Right, but the officer himself admitted that he made the statement. He said, yes, that's what I said. He didn't deny it. He said, I told him that I'm showing it to my friends, and I don't see any place where a comment like that would be the right thing to say. Okay.
So you're getting half the information and you're trying to blow it out of proportion.
Oh, no. Let me tell you something. First of all, I've been very polite. I haven't been accusatory, and I've been pretty much just talking to you like I would anyone with respect. Blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah, you are being accusatory because you're saying we're stopping him for no reason at all. And you're alleging that it's bias-based profiling.
No. I'm asking you about the traffic stops, and I'm asking for explanations. I'm not coming to any firm conclusions or accusing you guys of anything. I'm just telling you what's been reported, and I'm trying to reach explanations. But if you want to call it accusatory, that's your business. If you've ever heard me in a conversation when I'm accusatory, it's much different than the one we're having. I'm simply asking you why he keeps getting stopped. I'm going back over things that have been reported. Anybody who gets stopped 20, 30 times within a span of a few months, it's kind of strange. And he's got a complaint of racial profiling that I think, deserves some attention. So let's be clear.
So he's alleging he's been stopped 20 or 30 times in the last few months?
He's alleging that over the course of approximately 1 year, he and his son have been stopped approximately 12 to 13 times apiece.
Okay.
And that's a lot for anybody. Even 12 times for one person is a lot. And
sure.
Apparently not committing any major crime. If you take the offenses that you're citing, tail light, license plate, obscured window, or the tint on the window, those are all, very minor things. I know they're legal to stop somebody, but for someone who keeps getting stopped over and over again, it's annoying. So let me just be clear. My intention is not to insult you or to accuse you or to defame your department. When I go after the police department or I'm making those kind of allegations, they're on the front page of my website. So let's just do this. I'm going to withdraw from making any more comments, and I'm going to go search my records to see if you sent me an email with something from your department demonstrating that someone made a call about this man in their neighborhood and they wanted relief from the police department. If there's no call, I'm going to send you a follow-up email and ask you to give me some evidence of that. The second thing is, with regard to this officer telling him, I took pictures of you so I can show my friends, that on its face is unprofessional conduct. Whether you may agree with me or not, I know enough about law enforcement to know that that's unprofessional, and it doesn't sound like any sort of undercover intelligence gathering. I worked on an undercover unit. I did bank robberies for 5 years. So I know what it's like to be undercover and the needs to conceal information. I worked on one of the highest units in Los Angeles. So I know what that is, and I'm not confused about it. So at this point, there appears to be some discrepancy on the facts, so I don't want to step out there on a limb. And if he's driving around improperly, I'm not going to tell him to keep doing that and to start things with the cops. I'm going to tell him, fix your car, make sure it's legal before you hit the road. If he isn't doing anything illegal, I'm going to ask you to appreciate the content of this conversation for future reference, because this is what I'm doing. I'm coming down there, and I'm going to start traveling in his car to see if I get pulled over.